Your opinion about the new spacesuit for Orion? Orion will be an IEVA suit like Gemini G4C and Apollo A7L.
A7LB, I think a suit like the A7LB would be the right way to do it. I think you could put in a waist ring, and a neck ring, and make it very comfortable and be both a moon suit and a intervehicular suit, which you have to design to go to and from the moon wearing your suit. You know, if you run into an accident on the moon, you have to spend 120 hours pressurizing your suit to get back to Earth. And you need a very comfortable, well-fitting suit to do that, pressurized. And it takes the tough people to go through that exercise.
What did you think when you heard about Columbia in 2003, considering it was the second shuttle destroyed?
Oh, I thought that was terrible. You know, when we flew the Columbia, if we knew as much about foam as we do today, we'd probably still be flying the first space shuttle mission. When we flew back in the old days, they told me you could hit the wing leading edge with a baseball bat and you wouldn't hurt it. So back when I flew, I never was worried about the wing leading edges hurting anything. And we learned a lot.
Okay. Are you presently consulting with NASA and/or any of the contractors involved in the Orion program?
Yeah, I'm consulting with the administrator on the programs. I just finished two days last week working on the Constellation program review and telling the same things that I've just told y'all. And I think we have a long way to go because right now I don't think we have enough money to build Orion. You know, we got to fly the shuttle to 2010 and finish the space station. We got to do the Hubble Space Telescope reboost, and we've got to do all the things that we have to do, and that costs about $4 billion a year. And I don't see any way. I think when you're doing that, you don't have any money to spend extra.
What do you feel will be the greatest challenge in returning to the moon and eventually setting up long-term habitation there?
Well, I think the greatest challenge in returning to the moon is to get the vehicles we need to do it with. I think that's the greatest challenge. I think developing the technologies you need to live and work on the moon alike. You have to have reliable, uninterruptible power. You have to be able to terraform. You have to be able to live in big habitats, acres of those. You have to be able to grow crops on the moon. You have to have access to mineral resources, and you have to be able to do all the things that you need to do to live and work on the moon. You have to have 100% reliable recycling of food, water, and waste, and doing all those kind of things to live and work on the moon. We'll revolutionize the way we work on the Earth. Like we've already grown wheat as a good crop at 38 bushels an acre. We grow wheat with added CO2, added energy, added sunlight, and added fertilizers. We've grown wheat at 1,000 bushels an acre. Now that ought to eventually revolutionize the way people farm on the Earth. That's just one example of how that will change us. We ship electricity from the moon to the Earth with solar arrays. We can totally relieve our dependence on fossil fuels. If we keep going the way we're going, they say by 2050, the human race is going to be using fossil fuels at 950 million barrels a day. Well, there isn't 950 million barrels a day. We've got to look at alternative energy sources, and the moon, I think, is a great place to get those alternative energy sources that are non-polluting and will make us energy rich, because you need to be energy rich to survive on this planet.
Okay, if NASA offered you a trip back into Leo as a human test subject for age-related studies, not a glory trip, would you be willing to accept minus the probable protests of the good misses?
Yeah, but it would be very dangerous because if I went again, Susie told me she'd kill me.
Yeah. Okay, this is from somebody in Norway. They feel like they're kind of an outsider and was wondering if you believe that international space cooperation is important for the exploration of space. That was part one. And if you believe the ISS is a project that, in addition to the scientific benefits, also has some diplomatic benefits.
And diplomatic problems. It has a lot of problems, the ISS does. I think international cooperation on the exploration of space is a good idea. You know, we're all in this together. I think industrializing the moon in this century will revolutionize the way people think about civilization on Earth. You know, we just happen to be all one big bunch of human beings. Whether we like it or not, we're probably mostly related, so we have to look out for each other.
Was there one particular highlight of the Apollo 16 EVAs that stands out above all others? Perhaps a particular discovery or sight?
No, I don't think so. I think probably the most surprising thing about the moon landing on Apollo 16 was that the rocks we found, they thought we were going to find rhyolite volcanic rocks, and we found out anorthosites and orthositic ledges. So we found out, us old fighter pilots got up there and found out these different rocks, and didn't find out the kinds they thought we were going to find, and they argued with us all the way back to the moon that we picked up the wrong rocks. Of course, we picked up the only ones that were, and sure enough, it's anorthosites and orthositic pressures on the moon.
What, in your opinion, was the reason for the early termination of the Apollo program?
Well, I think Dr. Gilruth put it in pretty clear terms. They were afraid that we were going to lose some people. It was a very high-risk operation. My chances of us being successful, for example, on our Apollo 16 mission, my wife Susie worked on probability risk assessment. She said my chances of being successful on that mission was 1 in 5. That's pretty high-risk odds.
Yeah. What is your opinion about the new Orion capsule design?
For 2.5 years, I've been telling the people who are designing it that it is too big, too heavy, and too expensive. Other than that, it's all right. It should be small enough to go in the space shuttle in case we don't make it through 2008. If we get to 2008 and the next president says we're not going to the moon, we've got the space shuttle, and we still have to have a vehicle to go to the moon. We still have to have a vehicle to get to the space station, and a crew return vehicle on the space station will be needed. We did that in 1987. We designed one that would fit in the space shuttle, and it was much lighter and much cheaper than what they're building right now. They don't have enough money to do what they got to do right now at NASA. So I don't know how we're going to get there from where we're at.
What role do you see for private enterprise in the development of space exploration?
Well, they say these new people are going to put these rockets into space. Private enterprises are going to do that. I sure hope they can. I think getting to orbit is a very dangerous business, and the private enterprise people are going to discover that probably the hard way.
What is your best moment during your 42 years at NASA?
Returning.
The retirement party.
No, I just live one moment at a time at NASA. There's good moments and bad moments, and that's the way life is. And, you know, what the heck, I can't think of any best moment. No offense.
Here.
Now, this doesn't look like a whip, but it looks like that little doggy right there, only about this big.
Wow.
But it has hair coming out, and same kind of ears.
What kind of dogs do you have?
We've got a whippet, and we've got a dog that looks sort of like that, was about twice as big and has hair all over it. It's the hairiest looking thing you ever saw. And it, you know, loves it out in the cold.
Huh?
In the summertime, it has to stay in air conditioning.
I think I better take a run down the side real quick. I don't think I got pencils here.